there, ghouls and gals. Welcome back to Brewed and Bitten. I'm Blair.
And I'm Rose. We're back in Blair's living room this week.
Still recording from home. The office is pretty much all steel beams and cement blocks right now. And the renovation timeline we've been given is, well,
optimistic.
Very much so. But I choose to believe in it. In the meantime, welcome to my living room. It's cozy. There are floating candles. Saffron is being very territorial about the good chair, but that's on brand for her.
Wormwood is asleep on the equipment bag.
He's been on it all morning, just completely unbothered.
We love the cats.
We do! Okay, so a short recap. The hunters are gone, the world is still in one piece, and we've got a lot to cover today. Dr. Hazel Stonebrook will be joining us a bit later. Some of you will remember her from episode 4, and we have some things of our own to catch up on. One of them being Rose's current living situation.
Right.
Some genuinely exciting news on the vegan blood front.
Exciting is one word.
It is exciting, and we're going to get into it. And we're going to talk about some of the weird after effects that people have been dealing with since the invasion cleared up. So, a lot of ground to cover. Let's get into it.
Let's.
Okay, so the damage. Let's actually talk about the damage from the invasion, because I think there's a real gap between how it was covered and what actually happened.
The casualty numbers were the main point of confusion.
Right, because the coverage in the first week was, and I understand why, I genuinely understand the journalistic impulse, but the framing was mostly, how did we survive this? Which implies that surviving was unlikely. And yes, there were casualties. There was real loss of life, and we're certainly not downplaying that at all. But if you look at the actual numbers,
they were lower than the initial projections.
Far lower, which isn't an accident. And this is something Hazel's going to get into more when she joins us. But the short version is, the hunters were not here for us. They were only here for the voidlings. Us? We were furniture from their perspective. Unless
the furniture made itself difficult.
Right. Unless the furniture got in the way. Which brings me to the selfies. We have to talk about the selfies.
That we do.
Ghouls and gals, there are documented incidents of people approaching the hunters with their phones out. And we're not talking small numbers here. A whole lot of folks apparently saw an apex predator from another dimension actively hunting in their vicinity. And their first thought was,
photo opportunity.
Exactly. Photo opportunity. And look, I understand the impulse. They are genuinely imposing-looking creatures. Like, when's the last time anyone got to snap one with a majestic mana snarfer in the background? Either way, the PSC's post-incident report was very clear that a significant percentage of close-call incidents involved someone who approached the hunter with their phone out.
There's a graphic in the report.
There is a graphic, and it is not flattering to anyone who appears in it.
It also comes with captions.
And the captions are very disappointed.
Dr. Stonebrook has strong feelings about the captions.
She does. We talked about it when we set up for today. And she had, let's just say, she had some strong opinions, expressed at length. The PSC's recommendation for future incursion events now officially states, refrain from approaching dimensional apex predators for content creation purposes, which I think reflects a real failure of communication somewhere along the way. But here we are.
And yet they will encounter that situation again and need that reminder again.
Probably. Okay. Where it actually was rougher was for the supernatural population, for specific reasons.
Mana-sensitive species.
Yeah. The thing about hunters is that their sensory system is calibrated for voidling detection. And voidlings, as we've talked about before, are mana feeders. So the hunter's sensory range essentially covers anything with a significant mana signature.
Including witches.
Including witches. We lit up on their radar incidentally, not as prey, but as detectable, which still posed a real risk.
So you had to cast your containment spell going into week 2.
Yes. Week 2, I basically turned myself off magically, which is as unpleasant as it sounds. Mana suppression for more than a few hours gives you this horrible pressure headache, like your skull is full of warm porridge.
Lovely.
I know, it was god-awful, but it worked. And Hazel actually reached out to me about that specifically. She said the PSC is incorporating mana suppression protocols into their updated incursion guidance. So my please God don't notice me approach to the hunter invasion is now official PSC policy. I'm choosing to feel honored about that.
As you should. The vampire experience was different.
Right. Can you talk about the reflex thing? Because I didn't actually know about it until after.
My responses were slower. I wasn't functionally impaired, but slower than baseline by enough to be noticeable.
For how long?
The worst of it was week 2. It cleared fairly quickly once the field contracted in week 3.
You didn't mention this.
There was quite a lot happening.
Rose, you were running mana relays for me while your reflexes were slowed. That could have gone really bad for you.
They were only marginally slowed. It wasn't a problem.
That is such a you answer.
Thank you.
I'm not sure it was a compliment.
I took it as one. The point is, the hunters had a specific purpose, and they executed it with biological precision. Most of the collateral damage was either incidental or self-inflicted, which is not nothing, but it's a very different story than we were under attack. More like, we were in the middle of a hunt we weren't supposed to be in.
Until we ended it. Okay, Ginny update.
Yes, Ginny. She's doing well.
She really is. She took 2 weeks in Lisbon, which was, that's exactly what Ginny would do, right? Most sensible decision of everyone in our orbit.
She sent 147 photos from a tile museum.
You actually counted all of them.
I was curious about the scope of the collection.
She is so back to herself. Okay, Ginny's returned from a well-deserved vacation, and she's been absolutely killing it. And I am so happy to say, because it's been a long time coming, she is officially community manager at DUC. Capital C, capital M, official job title, and everything.
She's been doing it for years.
Of course, it's just now the title matches the reality. And as soon as she got back, she pitched Esme a full community support program for victims of the invasion.
Esme greenlit it in 7 minutes.
7 friggin' minutes. For those of you who know Esme, that is the fastest anything has ever been approved in the history of DUC. Ginny unpacked her Lisbon tiles and immediately made herself indispensable again.
She'd be embarrassed by that framing.
She'd say she was just doing what needed doing.
True.
And that is what needed doing. And she's the one who did it. So, we love Ginny. She'll be on the show soon. Okay, I think now's right about the time to bring Hazel on. Shall we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, let me just invite her in. Okay, joining us via Zoom is Dr. Hazel Stonebrook, head of the Creature Research Division at the Paranormal Studies Center. Hazel, hi, so nice to have you back.
Blair, Rose, great to see you both. Thanks for having me again.
Likewise, Hazel. How are things at the PSC?
Busy, definitely in a good way. We're still in the temporary facility, but the team has really hit their stride. The data we've been processing these past few weeks has been, honestly, one of the most significant research periods in the division's history.
Is that good or alarming?
A bit of both, in the way these things usually are. So, let me get into what I wanted to share, starting with the damage picture.
Floor is yours.
So the casualty numbers being better than projected, that's real and it deserves explanation. As you already know, the hunters are highly specialized apex predators. 30 years of studying dimensional creatures, and the behavioral profile on hunters is remarkably consistent. They enter an environment with one goal: locate and eliminate the voidling population. That's it. That's their entire existence in a nutshell.
So everything else was incidental?
Everything else was incidental, yes. Which means anything that doesn't present as a threat just doesn't register as a target. The average human who stayed out of their path was essentially invisible.
But the mana-sensitive species were not.
Right, now that's important. The hunter's detection system is tuned for mana signatures because voidlings are mana feeders. The hunters evolved alongside them and learned to track mana. So witches and other species with active mana signatures, you showed up on their sensors as a secondary detection, not as prey, mind you. Your presence was simply marked down.
We registered.
Exactly. And in a stressed predator in a foreign environment, registered means potential threat, something to be wary of. And the distinction matters because they wouldn't hunt a witch unprovoked. But a provoked hunter would absolutely respond to a mana emitter in its space.
Which is why the mana suppression worked.
Exactly. You took yourself off the readout. Honestly, Blair, that was a very smart call under pressure. We've now codified it in our incursion protocols.
I've been told. I'm choosing to feel proud.
You absolutely should. Now, the vampire reflex disruption. Rose, we were collecting data on this across the community in real time. I wanted to let you know we saw it widely. It was the hunter's dimensional displacement field interacting with vampiric biomechanics.
Resolved within 72 hours for most.
For most, yes. And knowing what you were managing during that period, running a mana relay configuration while that disruption was active.
It was fine.
Right, well, in any case, I'm noting it.
She won't let anyone acknowledge it.
Irrelevant.
Now, there's a few things developing in the data that I wanted to flag before they turn up in a PSC brief and you find out secondhand.
The residual effects?
The residual effects, yes. We've discovered that in the wake of the invasion, the local dimensional environment has shifted. The barriers between base reality and the adjacent dimensional layers are measurably thinner than pre-invasion levels. And the main effect of that is that things that were previously on the edge of expression are now, well, expressing themselves.
Can you unpack that?
Sure. Think of it this way. Magical capacity, supernatural traits, dormant heritage, all of those exist on a spectrum. The pre-invasion dimensional environment held a certain equilibrium that kept a lot of that at whatever level it had reached naturally. The invasion disrupted that equilibrium, and when it all settled, the new level was slightly higher than the old one.
That's actually huge.
You can say that again. It's why witches are reporting mana surges. Their magical capacities are now beyond their pre-invasion baseline.
So that explains why I've been so jittery these days.
It's partly because you were recovering. I mean, you obviously went through something enormous. But it's also partly recalibration. Your reserves are rebuilding to a higher baseline.
Is that okay?
We think so. It needs to stabilize, which takes time, and doing heavy spells during stabilization isn't advisable, which is why rest is so crucial. But the higher baseline itself, we don't see evidence that it's harmful. It may actually be beneficial.
The mana surge events. That explains why Blair's spell work has been producing more dramatic results as of late.
Almost certainly, yes.
I cleaned through my apartment wall last week.
Yes, that certainly tracks.
A standard shelf cleansing, routine, and it went through the wall.
It sounds like you overshot the calibration significantly. We've had similar reports across the community. Please, if you haven't already, spell journaling is very useful right now. Track your output levels so you can see when they're trending stable.
I started this week, actually.
Good. Excellent. For vampires, Rose, there may be a parallel. Smaller in scale, but some enhanced expression of physical characteristics.
I threw my jujitsu instructor.
On purpose?
Emphatically not.
How far?
Approximately 2 feet further than intended.
Right, that's within the range we'd expect, actually. I'd suggest recalibrating your sparring for a few weeks.
Way ahead of you.
Ghouls and gals. Rose is slightly more powerful since the invasion, and the main thing it has affected is her jujitsu instructor.
He was definitely impressed.
I'm sure he was.
So we have the enhancement registry form on the PSC website. It's totally voluntary, but the data really helps us build a picture.
I'll pencil it in.
And the third piece, this one, I think is the most significant from a community standpoint. Our intake has increased by 340% since the invasion, and the majority of new intake is human.
You mean humans who weren't previously supernatural classified?
Correct. We have people with no prior classification, no known active heritage, who are now presenting with first-time manifestations. We're talking aura perception, latent sensitivity activating, some accidental magic events here and there, and a few that required direct assistance.
Right, like the warehouse district incident.
That one we handled. Everyone was fine, but it's indicative of the range.
What are some of the more gentle manifestations?
We've received lots of reports about perception shifts. People are seeing things they didn't before, or feeling things they'd previously interpreted as intuition, suddenly being much, much louder. One lovely case, a woman who turned out to have sea witch heritage, completely unknown to her. She described it as suddenly being able to smell weather before it changes, except instead of weather, it was magic.
She could smell light?
She used exactly that word.
Oh.
Hazel, that's beautiful. and also a little terrifying.
She's doing wonderfully. Comes in Monday for her orientation. The point is, the world looks a bit different now. We have more people carrying supernatural expression than before, which is why the PSC is scaling our support services to meet the need.
Right. To our listeners, if you've been experiencing anything unexpected since the invasion, please be sure to contact the PSC.
Yes, we have all the resources you need on our website, and we've also streamlined the process for people who don't want the full formal intake.
A lower barrier option. That's so great.
Not everyone wants forms right out of the gate.
Totally valid. So, Hazel, is this permanent, the barrier thinning?
Based on historical data, and I'll be honest, we don't have a lot of it, dimensional environments do stabilize. But they stabilize at the new equilibrium, not the old one.
It stays.
Most likely, yes. We're in new territory, and I won't overstate the certainty, but yes. What the world looks like right now may well be the new baseline. I know that's a lot, but I also want to say the data picture isn't frightening. It's unfamiliar. Different isn't the same as dangerous.
No, it's not.
All right, I have an absolutely full afternoon, so I'll be signing off now. But as always, anything develops, I'll be in touch.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Hazel. Genuinely.
Thanks for having me. Take care of yourselves, you two. Cheers!
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Different isn't the same as dangerous.
She's not wrong.
No, of course not. I just need a second to absorb the world is now permanently different. Okay, I have absorbed it.
That was fast.
I'm a fast absorber.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay. Let's move on to things that are lighter. Rose, you want to tell us about your, hotel situation?
Right, the hotel.
Yeah, so you've been staying at the Grand Citadel for what, 3 weeks now?
Coming up on 4. My apartment was condemned after the invasion.
So what happened exactly?
There was a hunter nesting site approximately 3 blocks from my building. Their movement patterns over the course of 6 days generated considerable vibration in the local structures.
How bad was the damage?
Level 7. Total loss on my residential floor.
Ouch, that's pretty bad.
No one was injured, thankfully. The structural assessment took about a week, and the verdict was not salvageable in the short term. The timeline for possible renovation is 8 to 12 weeks, which in practice is 4 to 6 months.
Double ouch. She called me at 2 in the morning when she found out.
The structural engineer called me at 2 in the morning. I called Blair shortly after.
Shortly after was 3 minutes. She called me from the parking lot.
I wasn't in any mood to traverse far.
You sounded awfully cool about it, by the way. I mean, you found out your apartment was just condemned, and you were talking about it like you were reading off a grocery list or something.
I process quietly.
You really do. And then you showed up the next morning with 7 skincare products and took over my bathroom.
There was enough space.
Clearly not enough.
I was in a difficult transition period.
She booked a room the next morning.
Well, the couch situation wasn't sustainable.
It was a perfectly good couch.
For a single night, maybe. My overnight skincare routine requires at minimum 80 centimeters of clear counter space, and
She needed her whole routine.
exactly, the hotel provides it. In theory.
Okay, so you've been living out of a hotel, a very nice one at that, for almost a month. Let's talk pros and cons. What are the actual pros?
The daily housekeeping.
Oh, I bet you love that.
I don't love it. I appreciate it. I come back to a made bed every day without effort, and it is genuinely pleasant.
She texted me to tell me the bed was made. Bed was made when I arrived home. That was the message. No other context.
It was notable.
So endearing. Okay, what else?
The towels. They're thick and they're replaced daily. And I have to say, they're a better weight than most personal towels.
You're very serious about towel quality.
It's a quality of life indicator. I maintain that.
Fair enough. What else that's good?
The gym runs 24/7. Equipment's reasonably decent. And best of all, people actually focus on their workouts. No one's tried to talk to me while I'm there.
That's a pro?
I don't care much for unsolicited small talk during my workout.
Fair. Okay, so what are the cons then?
The mattress.
Oh.
It's neither soft nor firm. The best way to describe it is that it occupies a medium zone that satisfies no one.
Have you tried a topper?
I did order one.
Did it help?
Not exactly.
So I'm guessing that was also in the medium zone?
A different medium than the original mattress. Together they produce a still quite medium experience.
So you have a medium sandwich. You have a medium mattress layered into another medium mattress.
I'm trying a different brand next week.
Fingers crossed it's a little more than medium. All right, what else?
The curtains.
Really now?
They were advertised as blackout, but someone was certainly generous with that description. I mean, they do keep out most of the light, but I still have to double my usual application of anti-sun serum, which over 4 weeks becomes, well, financially notable.
That stuff definitely can burn a hole in your wallet.
You can say that again.
So were you able to improve on the curtain situation?
I foil taped the edges.
You foil taped the hotel curtains.
I was careful with my application, and it removes cleanly.
You foil taped a presumably very nice hotel room's curtain shut.
It was a practical solution to a real problem.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I'm not saying you shouldn't have done that. I wish I could see it.
It's more elegant than you're imagining.
I'm definitely imagining it as very elegant. Anything else?
The noise.
Oh?
There's a guest on my floor that I've never seen, who seems to be engaged in a significant athletic regimen from approximately 3 to 5 in the morning.
What kind of regimen?
The sounds suggest either intense physical training or a prolonged negotiation with their furniture. I haven't determined which.
A negotiation with their furniture?
It's either a couch or a desk that's giving them trouble.
Have you, tried knocking?
No, it was 3 in the morning. I'm not some heathen.
But you don't sleep.
Not sleeping does not mean welcoming a conversation at that hour. It's just as well that I hold myself to higher standards. Some of my fellow vampire compatriots wouldn't have been so kind.
And the mystery athlete doesn't know that.
The mystery athlete doesn't know much of anything, apparently, including the concept of manageable noise levels.
Okay. Oh, you have to tell me about the minibar.
I found a blood capsule in the minibar. Not one I'd put there. It was lemongrass flavored.
So it was a nice surprise.
I do like lemongrass, yes, but I certainly didn't put it there.
The thick plottins.
The front desk has no record of a prior supernatural classification guest in that room.
So it's either a wild coincidence or...
I've considered a few explanations. None are fully satisfying.
Did you eat it?
It was properly sealed, and the alternatives were hotel saltines.
I love the pragmatism.
I'm not irrational about unexplained snacks.
Okay, that's going on a t-shirt. I'm not irrational about unexplained snacks. Rose Devane, 2026.
Please don't.
Okay, so, hotel life. 4 more weeks minimum, possibly through end of the year.
Possibly.
The offer always stands. My couch is...
I know. Thank you.
You're so gonna find a really good apartment after this. I'm manifesting it.
Please don't expend mana on a property assessment, especially given your current calibration.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair point. I'll end up cleaning through the building again. You know what? I'll just manifest it emotionally instead. 0 mana. Only feelings.
I trust your feelings more than your current spell calibration, honestly.
That's both a compliment and a concern, and I'm taking it as the compliment. Okay, the vegan blood thing. I've been sitting on this for 2 weeks, and I genuinely need to talk about it.
Of course, the actual important stuff.
Don't we know it? Okay, so Rose mentioned a while back, what was it, the 1st or 2nd episode? Anyway, you said before that you've gone fully vegan, which, for even the most progressive vampires, is a huge rarity.
Correct. Standard vampire blood is synthesized from pig plasma, wild boar if you're bougie. That's been the industry standard since time immemorial. The pig farmers lobby hard to keep their slice of the blood market. So when I say that procuring a decent vegan brand is like catching lightning in a bottle, you'd best believe that I am not being hyperbolic.
Right, and you only buy from that one brand.
Mm-hmm. And their blood lab was completely leveled during the first week of the invasion, and I was nearing the end of my stock. So, not good at all.
So, long story short, I started working on a vegan blood formula on my own. Couldn't just sit and watch my girl wither away, you know?
I do admit that I was a little skeptical of your endeavors at the time.
You were. Hang on, refresh my memory. What did you say then?
Really?
Yeah, really. I want to hear you say it.
Fine. But only because you actually pulled it off. I said, that sounds impractical.
And I said,
watch me.
Exactly. Watch me. And then I kind of went quiet about it for a while, because it turned out to be more complicated than I anticipated.
Significantly more complicated.
Oh yeah. The base compound was relatively straightforward. I was working with an extract from a plant called iron shadow root, which is a shade-grown botanical that concentrates mineral compounds in a way that mimics the iron signature of traditional plasma. That's what gets you the flavor foundation.
Well, it was flat.
Oh, it certainly was flat. Like, I had the mineral profile right, but it tasted like the idea of blood.
You gave me lots of samples. A lot.
Well, it was either that or starve, right?
I suppose.
But yeah, closer, but flat. That was your assessment for days on end. But then, around week 3, I cracked it.
The mana infusion.
Right, the mana infusion. So the thing that gave it dimension was a mana trace embedded into the extraction process. I adapted my cleansing spell series. There's a specific layering where you embed a resonance signature into the extract during the final reduction. And that gave it depth that the chemistry alone couldn't produce.
The first time you gave me a batch with the infusion...
Tell them.
I knew it was different from the first sip. And after the second, I said...
Tell them exactly what you said.
This is better than what I usually drink.
She said it so quietly. I had to ask her to repeat it.
You heard me.
I sure did. And then you said...
I'd like some more.
Hang on a sec. I gotta get up and do a victory lap.
You're not actually. Nope. She's out of her seat, and there she goes.
Now that felt amazing.
Got it out of your system?
Hell yeah. All right, where were we? I lost my train of thought.
The infusion.
Ah, right. Yeah, so we had a breakthrough, but it still wasn't ready yet.
But it was certainly enough to get me through the invasion.
And even after that, Rose's regular brand wasn't available in the amounts she needed. So I figured I'd just finish the formula and hopefully come up with something that could serve as a full replacement.
Honestly, it was pretty much finished at the time. You just hadn't decided it was finished.
I was still running tests.
You were on it for 5 weeks straight. Not to mention the base compound for it was something you'd been tinkering with for over 2 years. It was done.
It was mostly done.
It was done, Blair.
Fine, she's right. And once she confirmed it not only tasted better than her regular brand, but also made her feel better.
I posted about it.
All without telling me.
If I had, you would have made me hold off so you could run even more tests.
Touché.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand, Rose has a lot of followers on social media, and she doesn't post often, so when she does, it's like Christmas in the algorithm.
The engagement is often disproportionate to the post.
Disproportionate is putting it lightly. She posted about my formula, and within 48 hours, my messages were absolutely piled up. Like I was getting DMs from every vampire I was acquainted with. Also, several that I wasn't. And a supernatural health brand, 2 distributors, and, oh my god, Esme.
She called you twice.
The second call, she left a voicemail that started with, Blair, this is Esme. I'm reaching out in a formal capacity.
Formal capacity. She was beyond excited.
I know, right? It was so cute. But yeah, she pitched the idea of forming a partnership. A mutually beneficial strategic alignment opportunity, is what she said.
So basically, she wants to produce and distribute the formula as a DUC-branded product.
Exactly.
So, what's the plan, Brewmaster?
I'm seriously considering it. Because the complication is the mana trace infusion requires a witch. I can't hand off a recipe and have a manufacturing facility produce it without the magic component. The formula doesn't work without the infusion, and the infusion doesn't work without a practitioner.
Could another witch do it?
Theoretically. It's not specific to my mana signature, but finding practitioners willing to do commercial production work consistently at scale...
Right. Logistics.
Big logistics problem. which is part of why Esme's proposal is so appealing.
You'd still be central to it.
Yep, I can control the quality instead of handing it off and hoping for the best.
Is that what you want?
I think, yeah. I've spent a lot of time on this. I don't want it to become a mediocre product just because the scale changed.
Then the question is, do the terms protect that?
Which is what I'm figuring out. Esme's been patient, and I trust her not to let it go shoddy.
She won't.
She really won't. So watch this space, because it may become a real thing. For now, the formula exists and it works. And apparently, the vampire community is quite enthusiastic about having an option that doesn't involve pigs. Which is good. The pig plasma industry does not need their unconditional loyalty.
The pig plasma industry is grateful for your consideration.
I'm sure they're devastated. Okay, I think we still have some time left for the next segment. Yeah, actually, this one's pretty important because it connects back to what Hazel was saying. So, the residual effects. Ghouls and gals, Hazel gave you the science. Let's talk about what it actually looks like day to day.
Let's start with the mana incidents.
Right, the mana incidents. Okay, the wall cleansing. I talked about that. 2 days before that, I was doing a warming charm on my teacup, which is pretty routine. But then the tea came out so hot, it boiled off completely.
You tried it twice before you believed it.
Twice! Thought the first time was a fluke. And the second time was also just steam. Like, I've literally superheated 2 cups of tea this week with the most basic warming charm in existence. And that's never happened in my life.
We settled for coffee instead.
Yep. And I didn't do a warming charm on the coffee because fool me once, shame on you, yada yada. Now I'm working at reduced intensity on everything until things stabilize, which Hazel said could be a few more weeks.
Possibly longer for you.
That's true, because apparently a high baseline witch pre-invasion is going to have a larger recalibration. The stronger you were before, the bigger the adjustment now.
A compliment wrapped in an inconvenience.
That's exactly what it is. How are you dealing with the enhanced strength thing, by the way? Any more incidents after jujitsu?
I've been deliberate, moving more slowly than I need to in most contexts. I practice force calibration in the gym at the hotel.
Right, and how's that going for you?
Well, I've broken 2 resistance bands.
On accident, right?
Yes.
Did you, address it?
I removed the evidence. I wasn't going to explain it to the front desk.
Yeah, I mean, what would you even say? Sorry, I was just marginally more powerful than usual due to a dimensional incursion event?
So you understand how absurd it is.
Yep. Okay, so now the new people. There's lots of humans now who are discovering they're different than they thought. I've been getting messages from people who've heard us talk about this stuff, and now they're experiencing it. And it seems most of them just don't know what to do with it, which is totally understandable.
What are they describing?
A lot of perception shifts. A good number of folks have mentioned being in a room and just knowing something's there. One person messaged to say they were at a dinner party and could suddenly identify which guests were supernatural from across the table.
That would make for an uncomfortable evening.
Or a very interesting one. She didn't say anything. She just processed quietly. Like you.
Good.
And then there are people where it's more active. Like things just happen around them that they're not doing on purpose. Like there was this one guy who messaged to say he keeps lighting candles without striking them.
Accidental ignition.
See, it really sounds alarming if you word it like that. But he says the candles aren't getting bigger. They're just lit. Like they just light up when he's near them and thinking about them. I think he's having fun with it though. He's ordered more candles.
Of course he has.
Which is honestly the right response. But I did tell him to reach out to the PSC because that's going to need some guidance.
Did he?
He said he would. He seemed okay about it. I think the people who are handling it well are the ones who have something to contextualize it with. They know magic exists. It's just, now it's personal.
And the ones who are struggling are the ones for whom this world is still new.
Where finding out about the supernatural at all is part of what they're processing. And the manifestation is on top of that.
It is a lot to hold at once.
It is. And Rose, can I ask you something? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
What is it?
What was it like for you when you were, turned? Sorry, maybe that was a bit too heavy.
No, it's fine. It's just been a while is all. Do you want the long version or the short version?
Whichever's more comfortable for you.
Right. Well, it happened fast. One moment, I was drinking bootlegged scotch and soda with Sheila Carnahan and her flock of sycophantic buzzards. Then, next thing I knew, I woke up in an open casket. I still have no clear memory of who turned me, but I have a lingering suspicion it was one of Sheila's peers.
Oh my God. So you just woke up in a coffin, just like that, as a vampire?
Yes, that's how it happened. I was left in an abandoned warehouse somewhere along Hell's Kitchen, if my memory serves me correctly.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Waking up all alone in all that dark and grime, that must have been so disorienting and scary.
Well, it certainly wasn't comfortable, to say the least. In any case, I was, in a way, born anew, just like the folks who are manifesting right now. Only difference is, we didn't have any PSC guidelines or resources back then.
Yeah, very different times.
There was a great deal of confusion, not just for me, but for everyone else who registered as supernatural. And then came a long adjustment period, time spent to create new rules, determine what was safe, what wasn't, who could be trusted.
Did you have anyone back then? Like, to support you?
Eventually.
The people going through this now, they have that.
It matters.
It matters a lot.
Yes, it does.
Hey, for anyone listening and going through this, you are not alone in it. The PSC website has the intake form, the peer support line, the vetted practitioner list, all of it's there. And we're here. That's what this show is for.
The world looks different than it did a month ago. That's allowed to be unsettling. It's also allowed to be interesting.
Agreed. Both in careful proportion.
Of course.
Okay, I think that's our episode.
It feels like a good place to end.
We covered a lot today.
We did.
The damage numbers, hunter behavior, Ginny's triumphant return, the hotel stuff.
The mattress situation is unresolved.
Ongoing, we'll report back on that. The vegan blood formula, developments incoming. And the residual effects. This is a continuing story. Things are still shifting. Hazel's going to keep us updated. We're going to keep talking about it. And if you're experiencing anything, go get checked in. Please.
Take it seriously in both directions. If you're worried, get information. If it turns out to be something interesting, let yourself find it interesting.
Beautifully put. Okay, and that's a wrap. Thank you all for joining us for yet another episode. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. As always, I'm Blair.
And I'm Rose. Take care of yourselves out there.
We'll see you soon.